Slants is presented by your local New England Honda dealers.
What is up, everybody? Oh, yeah, Quick Slants is back, and I still got the hands that you guys know and love. Listen, last week we started it out. We were up at the Patriots Hall of Fame. Maybe it wasn't the best opening with Kay and I, but like the Patriots, we're working on a new system, a new program, and we got in the shop, got under the hood, and took a look at some of the things we could do better. Take a look at one of our team meetings from this week.
Guys, first week of the show. I know it's tough to get back into it, but it's a process we have to work through. We got to take a look at this stuff.
Kay. I mean, this is the great Kay Adams. Well, that was Kay, and I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that I was aware that that was Kay.
I cannot believe that I have been gone for so many days, Tom, and there's no play caller!
Two things stand out to me on this. One, dead air. I mean, how many years have you been doing TV?
Right. No. Yeah.
Two, what are you looking at?
I mean, it's a process. It's a process. I feel like it's a process. Yeah, it is a process, and we're getting into that process today. We got our guy Michael Hurley from CBS, and we will have some slip-ups and missteps, just like the Patriots did, but we, of course, also have the game plan. What are we going to get to? The Patriots' succession plan with them out in Vegas and Josh McDaniels on the other sideline. We got risers and we got fallers. And we also have polls in your comments, plus irrelevant questions with the great Jake Bailey. But it ain't Quick Slants without my slant, so now it's time for my slant. Watch out! And as I said, the Patriots are in Vegas this week, and they're getting an up-close look at Josh McDaniels' Raiders. And from all indications, we'll hear more from Phil Perry in early edition coming up. It didn't look so good. Josh has all the toys out there, a tight end, a slot, the league's best wideout in Devontae Adams. He's got Derek Carr, who's more than capable. He's got pass rushers. And they're running the Patriots' offense that the Patriots are busy scrapping. Vegas is going to be good. And McDaniels is going to be a big reason for that. But understand this, Josh McDaniels would have loved to succeed Bill Belichick in New England. But this time, the Patriots didn't make any late effort to keep him around. Now, there could be two reasons for that. One, they didn't think McDaniels was the guy. Or two, and I know this to be at least part of the case, they don't know when Bill's going to wrap it up. The sense I get, it's more the latter. You know, talking to folks who would know, there's very much a don't ask, don't tell approach to Bill Belichick's eventual retirement. It's up to him. He's earned that. And it's not like he's going to give 2 weeks' notice. As far as the Crafts feel, they'll know well in advance of Belichick's planned exit. Has Bill earned that latitude, though? He doesn't necessarily give it to his players. I mean, I guess. But it does bring to the fore the question, if Bill gets to write his own exit, how many good coaches leave the Patriots system who would have been a fit here? Josh McDaniels is already gone. Gerard Mayo, he's going to get his head coaching shot soon, and he wants it. Is Bill Belichick anointing his own successor? Is it going to be Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, one of his sons? Will Belichick want to move upstairs and be a football overlord like Bill Parcells was? Or, and no one really thinks about this, after 25 years of highly successful but fairly stressful marriage, will the Crafts want to go in an entirely different non-Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells direction? Look, the Patriots didn't stick the dismount when they moved on from Tom Brady. The question now will become, do they have a more concrete plan when this legend leaves? All right, a lot to chew on there, and we're going to bring in our guy, Robbie Buckets, to go from the stands right now. It's presented by Shaw's. They have been perfecting the art of fresh. Actually, we got a poll first. Here's the poll I put out there, and I was actually stunned by this result. 51% of you felt, or the 9,000 respondents, okay, 1,500, said that Josh McDaniels would have been the best fit. 51%. 21% say no, the Pats dodged a bullet. 28% don't even like the conversation about Bill Belichick being replaced. Now we're going to go from the stands as advertised, and we bring in my guy, Rob Snyder, our producer, Robbie Buckets. What do we got? How you doing?
I'm great, Tom. How are you?
Tremendous.
I already knew that. All right, Caleb, first one up. He says, didn't match up correctly. Plus, while I believe the Pats should have had a better plan in place for that, I think there are better options. I think Bill would get it figured out, but it's still frustrating. A lot of thoughts there.
There are a lot of thoughts. I mean, I get it on the timeline, and we're going to hear a little bit more on that. But at some point, you have to acknowledge, okay, who gets to author the timeline? Next one.
All right, Captain Stan says, D, he made one up himself. That's cheating. The timeline didn't match up.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is the same thing. It's, do we feel as if Bill has the right to author his own timeline? And if so, how many good guys go out?
And finally, Brady Carried says they should have moved on from Bill a year early rather than a year late. He doesn't evaluate himself like he does his players. It should have been a complete overhaul.
Yeah, you notice the name there too, Buckets, right? Brady Carried. I mean, that sounds like a guy who might have a little bit of a bee in his bonnet still about number 12 going to Tampa, which is an entirely different conversation that we will get into later in the show when Hurley comes in. But again, it's the timeline of McDaniels going elsewhere, and we are bound to see a Las Vegas Raiders team this year with the elements in place in Adams and Waller and Hunter Renfrow and Derek Carr and Max Crosby and Chandler Jones et al. Put together a tremendous season. We will have our eyes on it. We will get all intel on them. Now we go on to our risers and fallers from the last week, though. And as we look at these guys, the first guy up is Lil Jordan Humphrey. The wide receiver had his second outstanding performance in a preseason game, and according to Phil Perry, getting more reps out there in Vegas. He had 5 catches, 71 yards in preseason game number 2, 6 and 60 in the first one. And he really looks, okay, you remember Tim Wright? He was the tight end the Patriots got back for Logan Mankins back in 2014. He actually reminds me of him, so hopefully he can have some relevance. Next up, too, a guy who has to have relevance given the paycheck that he's drawing from the Patriots, and he didn't do it last year, but it's Nelson Aguilar. Wide receiver had 2 key catches last week. You see him 2 and 52, but his first catch extended the Patriots' scoring drive. His second catch was a 45-yarder down the sideline. If he can find relevance, especially with the Patriots suddenly dealing with injuries at wideout, that's a huge break for the Patriots. Last guy up, making us eat our words already. It's Cole Strange. Patriots famously moved down in the first round of April's draft. They took Cole Strange at 29. Everybody and their brother said that he would have been available later in the draft. Patriots took him, and you know what? He's one of the few guys on the offensive line right now that appears to be someone you don't have to sweat. He's not a finished product by any means, but on a day-in, day-out basis, he's getting it done. Now on to the fallers. One of the guys who is not getting it done, it's big Isaiah Wynn. He's also a former first-round pick. And Isaiah Wynn last week didn't really participate. This week we have a report from Albert Breer that says that Wynn is being shopped by the Patriots. So he's flipped from left tackle to right tackle. Now the Patriots are looking at his $10 million guaranteed contract and wondering whether or not they want to jettison out of that. To me, when you combine Wynn and Sony Michel, who at least gave you a good playoffs, N'Keal Harry, look at all those first-round picks who went belly up for this team. You can't have it if you want to be in a position to win year in and year out. Now, here's a pick, actually, that is a faller. Unfortunately, he fell down, and many people fell on top of him, injuring his collarbone against the Panthers. Tyquan Thornton, he is going to be down for reportedly 8 to 10 weeks because of a collarbone injury. I'm going to guess it's a break. I'm going to go out, okay? I'm going to play doctor. Probably a broken collarbone. When the wispy one comes back, hopefully he hits the ground running because he definitely can run. And our final faller, it's Dalton Keene. Dalton Keene, the tight end, taken in 2020 in the 3rd round. He, along with Devin Asiasi, were both guys that the Patriots jumped on and hoped to have some relevance. Next thing you know, 2021 rolls around, and they have to go shopping and spend upwards of $60 million or so in guaranteed money on 2 other tight ends. So that was not a good purchase. All right, we got a tweet of the week here coming up, too. Phil Perry, this is just the update we wanted to give you on how the Patriots did. They had a full practice today with the Raiders, full pads, tough going 11-on-11 early in practice. You can see it there, run stuff, run stuff, run stuff. Buckets, you with me on this too?
Oh, I got you. Yeah, the next one is actually even worse. Run stuff, crosser complete, incomplete, run stuff, incomplete, interception. Phil had a busy day down there.
Phil did have a busy day. Although we don't have the other tweet, the final tweet in 2 minutes, the Patriots were able to cobble together a touchdown. But as Phil said on our Patriots Talk podcast, 70% of the day was carried by the Vegas Raiders. Grrr, potential. Mac Jones did some growing on the 3rd drive. after a 3-and-out and then a 3-and-out. Patriots 10-play, 81-yard touchdown drive and drive 3 against the Panthers on Friday night. That, of course, is brought to you by Dr. Matthew Presti. Look younger, feel younger, get all your damn hair back with Leonard Hair Transplant Associates. 1-800-GET-HAIR. Now we bring in the great Michael Hurley from CBS Boston, joining us alongside. He's pinch hitting for Kay, who's down this week on the IR. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Tom.
How's it going?
Great.
Good. You want to do quick fire?
I'd love to.
All right, Rob Snyder back, quarterback. Come on, Robbie.
That's right. Quickfire is presented by your local New England Honda dealers. Thanks for doing the read there, Tom.
Yep. Oh, I was
first
supposed
one.
to?
No, it's fine. I'm kidding.
Fair.
First one, Matty play call. But Tom, you should know this by now. It's Matty play relayer.
Yeah, Bill did not tip his hand on who actually is doing the play calling. Right now, he is just the middleman. He's the cutoff in the play calling process. But to me, all indications are if Joe Judge was removed from the process last week, it looks like it's going to be Patricia Michael as the play caller.
Yeah, and it's not particularly surprising. And not to go back to your slant on the succession plan, but what I find telling with this coaching staff is all those guys left. McDaniels left, and he took Lombardi, he took Hardigree, he took Brasillo. And Bill Belichick, you remember on that Saban special, said he didn't like when coaches do that, when they take your assistants. He didn't mind it. So he's got his guys. Matty P is the trusted confidant.
That's such a great observation. Like, why didn't he care?
Didn't care.
Was it just because he was going to pivot entirely to a different offense?
And because he had his guys. Joe Judge, he's available. Matty P's available. All set.
Fine. Buckets, next.
I just don't know how they became his guys. Second one, Bourne again. Can Kendrick Bourne find his footing? Hurley, I'll start with you here.
I hope so. This is the weirdest story to me because he is Captain Positivity, Kendrick Bourne. He is smiling. He's on Instagram. He's selfieing. He's doing all this. He's a source and an endless well of positivity. So this whole acting out or getting in the knee pad thing and fighting and getting in the doghouse is really sudden for me. So very surprising. I would have to believe he's so necessary to the offense. They're not exactly swarming and overwhelming with talent. They need him.
I hope this is the proverbial mountain being made out of a molehill because, as you said, all to the positive last year, 55 catches on just 70 targets, like 126 passer rating the Mac Jones had going to him. If you want to give him a check mark today, you go ahead and do it. He had a touchdown out in Vegas in the Patriots 2-minute drill, one of the lone bright spots for the Patriots today. And Phil said there was a resounding spike. Resounding. Sorry, it's spike.
Resounding, indeed. Next one we got is Brady Nation. We all know by now the Dolphins tampered. Now we found out that the Raiders thought they were getting him and John Gruden shot it down. Tom, I know you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, when you look at the entire arc of Brady's moving on in 2020, it's so fascinating to see how many teams turned their nose up to him after the 2019 season. Obviously, Miami did. We know that. Tennessee ended up doing the same thing. San Francisco, John Lynch kiboshed that, and apparently John Gruden did. And the Patriots, of course, they said, okay, $25 million for you, we're not doing that. It's astounding when you look at what he's done since he left. And that, to me, it comes back to sometimes we write or say things about people and like, oh, do you know better than these guys do? They couldn't tell that Tom Brady was still good, Mike.
You're right there. I'm right there with you. I mean, I spent 2019 and Brady's stats were bad. I spent 2019 saying, look at the man, look at the player, look at the throws, look at the physical abilities of this man. He is still Tom Brady. He's just playing in a butt offense, to use a technical term.
Yeah.
And when this story broke over the weekend, I said, well, all right, so add the Raiders to the pile of teams that were stupid, that looked at Tom Brady and said, it's short term. We shouldn't give up what we have. Really, outside if you have Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or someone like that, you should have done whatever it took to get Tom Brady into your team in 2020. Only the Bucs, go figure, the Bucs, the losingest organization of all time, gets them, and there they go. They instantly
kind of explains it, though, when you think about it. They are the only ones who didn't have a situation that they said, well, we don't want to screw it up. They needed him.
Yep.
All right, take a look at this tweet next. Tom Brady apparently wasn't on The Masked Singer, but he was wearing a mask. Ha, 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 ha. He tweeted this. It's his underwear ad. This is what he was apparently doing. This was supposed to be the summer of Tom. Hurley, your thoughts on the Tom Brady moving on?
Yeah.
Coming back.
If I could speak freely, I think this sucks, to be honest with you. And I know Tom and I are both very big, I would say, appreciators of the Tom Brady experience over the past 20 years. But this is one of the weirdest things he's ever done, to disappear, apparently to go to the Bahamas for 11 days, where people are genuinely concerned that there's a family issue, whether it's his parents or whoever. And to come back and just be like, whoa, I'm back, buy my underwear? That sucks. Tom the salesman, I don't love it.
Yeah, it's tough to explain away a guy who, I guess this is 45, right? This is some of what Bill Belichick, I suppose, had grown weary of. But Brady isn't the Brady we necessarily knew in 2019, and Bill Belichick's not the Belichick we knew pre-Brady's departure. I think both guys are kind of casting about to figure out exactly who they are and what they were about, and they're not exactly what they were about 20 years ago. That happens. Things change. But you're exactly right. For the guy who is all in, yeah, he'll be ready to go. But it doesn't really announce that the 2022 season is Tom Brady's swan song, and there's no stone going to be left unturned to win a championship when you're going out for 11 days. And again, when you're riding a motorcycle in your underwear, watch out for skids.
It wouldn't be a show if we didn't have A, a poop joke, and B, Michael Hurley praising Brady and then ripping Brady. Last one, quick
Good
on
balance.
this one. Nice digs. Bill Belichick seems to really like Vegas, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to read between the lines, and people have been doing this. Okay, Bill likes Vegas, so it means he doesn't like Gillette anymore. I've never once heard him complain about the facilities and accoutrements that Robert Kraft has provided him with. Michael, do you want to go the other way?
No, I don't. I was just tickled today because yesterday he obviously went on and on about how amazing the facilities were. Then today someone said, it was a more general question about Vegas being an NFL team and the facilities. Like, yeah, this place is the Taj Mahal of football facility. It just made me laugh. But yeah, I don't know what's inspiring it other than just being in awe out there. I don't think he wants to, go work. There's a lot of space out there in the desert for all sorts of accoutrements, to borrow your term.
You could do whatever you want. I just hope he has a different word every day. It's football nirvana out here. All right, we have a trivia question. Speaking of stadiums, what was the first name of Gillette Stadium before that sponsor went belly up and had to bail? Huh? What was it? Way back there in 2002. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the great Jake Bailey with us today. Do you see my attire?
It's pretty sweet. I love it. I need to get me one.
Our guy DJ Bean had this made for me because in 2020, pandemic year, we would watch the games in the green room. And the offense at times would stagger. And I would start to say, when the offense staggered on first and second down, just get the ball to Jake Bailey. And you had an all-pro season, so.
I appreciate that, yeah. It was. I'm just been having fun each and every year. It's been fun being the punter for this team.
As a longtime Patriots scribe, whenever I hear each and every, I say, okay, he's just logged into Patriot Speak. So we're going to get away from all football talk. I'm just going out there each and every day.
Oh, man.
For each and every play.
Yeah.
So let's just have a little fun. This is called Irrelevant Questions. I've been doing this for a long time. I think you're going to like it. Would you ever drink hot coffee on a hot day?
Oh, yeah. I prefer cold brew, though.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dunks?
Starbucks. I'm from Southern California, sorry.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we don't have much Dunkin' there.
Have you been able to adjust to the New England lifestyle, and how much does it contrast from Southern California? What's the one thing that's way different about people and the place?
It's a good question. So I live up in the city, which I love. I get the city environment, and then when I'm back in San Diego, it's back home, kind of beachy feel. So two different things, and I love each aspect of both. It's fun.
Each and every aspect?
Each and every.
Let's go rapid fire. Steak or fish?
Steak.
Beach or lake?
Beach.
That meant ocean or lake.
Yeah.
Pontoon boat, motorboat?
Motorboat.
Marco?
Polo.
He said natural, I'm telling you.
That quick, yeah. I still stuttered a little bit.
Favorite beach game?
Ooh, spike ball. You ever played?
Spiky ball, yeah. My kids are all about your age, so they have it out back. All right, let's go simple rudimentary ice cream flavor.
Vanilla.
Each and every day.
I'm a punter. We got to keep it simple.
Favorite sport that is not football?
AFL, Australian. Yeah, it's the best. That's a Darren Bennett. He kind of taught me how to punt. He 10-year career in that.
He taught you how to punt?
Kind of, yeah.
He was an absolute gorilla.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He was one of my main coaches way back in the day, and yeah, 10-year career in both sports.
Was he a barefoot punter?
No, I don't think so.
No, he definitely wasn't. Could you do me one solid?
Yeah.
Can you put your helmet down? Can you face up to my guy Adam Hart, and can you just give me a quick Australian rules football touchdown sign?
Touchdown sign?
Yeah, the double guns. You know what it is.
I actually don't. Yeah, you give me it.
goes through, and they go,
Oh, yeah.
you didn't know that? Thanks to our guy, Jake Bailey. Today's trivia question had an answer. CMGI Field. CMGI Field was what the original name was going to be. And we also have, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap it up, the quote of the week.
I think Matty's done a great job. He's one of the most brilliant people I've ever been around in terms of football knowledge. So, between all the coaches we have, they've done a great job preparing us, and he's really starting to get a feel for it. And that's the thing, is just growing each week and making sure that we can stack, good days together. And he's very easy to talk to on the sideline, very easy, laid back kind of type coach, but demands a lot. And I respect that about him. And hopefully we can grow for a long time.
Found that fascinating. Mac Jones kind of going out of his way to make sure that he credited Matt Patricia, who obviously is in a new position with the Patriots offense. Is he going to be the offensive coordinator? Is Joe Judge apprenticing to take it over? Will Bill Belichick swoop in and become the play caller? After Tuesday in Vegas, I'm wondering if the Troika has got to be split up. All right, see you next week.